got ejected for telling the ref, like, fam, I saw Netflix.
Elvis was the king of rock, and Timmy was the king of fixing games.
Bro, try to give Cleveland that game.
You saw that?
Yes.
I watch everything.
Yes.
Fam.
Oh, yeah.
I started to understand the game within the game of the NBA, and I'll give you an example. I was in Philadelphia, and I'm refereeing Sixers Bulls. They were cracking down on a spin move that they wanted the officials to call traveling. And Michael Jordan does the spin move, and I make the call.
Michael on the block, travel.
Phil Jackson comes flying off the bench, and he starts giving me shit. And I said, wait a second, Phil. You know as well as I do, that's the spin move that they're telling us to call. And he said, they may want that play called, but they certainly don't want it called on him. And he pointed at Jordan, who walked by and just stared at me. I got in the locker room. The other referee said, they want that call, but don't call it on him.
I was spotlighted in my actual game.
Yeah.
I fouled out. I had like 6 points. I fouled out. Me fouling out with 6 points as the franchise player, I'm getting called a bum.
Listen, I called what the NBA wanted me to call. They said, go out and make sure, you concentrate on this tonight. That's what I went out and concentrated on.
As players, we can't say so. You just got to play along. You got to play the game. But when you think about it, it's like, how many games was this happening?
When you're hired into the league, you think everything is done based on the rules, how they're written in the rule book. You quickly learn if you're going to survive, that's not the way things are done.
Rules have changed. But you know what's really significant is the refereeing has really changed. So I started watching Allen Iverson, and then I went and watched the Dallas Mavericks, and I said, wow, Kyrie, he carries the ball. And then I went and watched Jamal Crawford. I was like, that's about the time it really started changing, when Jamal Crawford and these guys kind of got in. If you could carry the ball like the guards do today, that's a huge advantage. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying the previous generation wasn't allowed to play that way because of the refereeing of the game. The biggest change has been the interpretation of the rules of the game, Mo. Like carrying, you'll see it called every now and then. But Mo, you weren't allowed to do that in the previous generations.
The game has changed.
The game
has changed. That's what we can say.
Well, I don't know if the game has changed. I think the interpretation and how we enforce the rules have changed.
Yo, what's good, people? We back. Had to come through, right? Because I was on TikTok and I see this female, she was speaking like, listen, sports, NFL, NBA, you guys have bussified the sport so much. Women are looking like, yo, what is this shit that we are looking at? Women don't even want to see the product that you're putting on the floor. Who are you putting that product out on the floor for? Is it for gays? Is it for kids? It's not for men or women. And, how long do you expect to get away with that? You get what I'm saying? Before it all collapsed. So I just want to say that before I start. But listen, she was saying how she said LeBron started flopping. I was like, okay, I'm speaking to somebody now who don't really know the game. Like, they want to know, but they don't know. I mean, I like it when you want to know. When you want to know, I could work with you. When you don't know and you don't want to know, then listen, you were just going to be left. You were going to get left. But listen, Europeans have really ruined the NBA. You know when Nas dropped Hip Hop Is Dead in 2006, and you look back, you're like, yo, hip hop not dead. Then you look back again, now you be like, oh, nah, hip hop really did die in 2006. And then, when you look back at it, right? When you look back at when Jordan retired the first time in 93, and Phil Muckett Jackson chose to give Tony Kukoc the last shot over Scottie Pippen, who he had just won 3 rings with, just for he sacrificed a ring. He sacrificed a ring in the Bulls' success so that he can promote the globalist agenda of the NBA. The Dream Team, their agenda was a globalist agenda. All right. Look, this is the big spectrum here. It's a globalist agenda. The way that we play the game is only meant for us. There were like white people, Europeans. Well, honestly, white Americans would be they have the best chance, competing with us in the game that we created because of I don't know what goes on in the eastern part, in the eastern hemisphere. Maybe the way the sun hits, maybe the gravity or something. But their feet are slower. Their feet are obviously slower. Their athleticism is obviously severely lacking. You know, when you're from the eastern hemisphere, and you have to when you consume this media like this all the time, you have to realize what they're trying to do when they say stuff. I knew what it was back when every time they talked about Kobe Bryant on TV, they said the best basketball player in the world. They're making him a global asset. You know, they wonder why there's a Mamba school in China. But listen, now I don't want to go too far with that, but yes. When Phil Jackson chose to give that last shot to Tony Kukoc over Scottie Pippen, he said, I'm going with the globalist agenda instead of the chosen one because I believe in the devil. That's what Phil Jackson said. So this right here is like I'm really explaining the art of what when they be saying flopping on TV and everything like that, and they do these blooper reels and show LeBron flopping and show all these black players flopping and everything like that. Like, listen, don't show black players flopping. You want to go back? You want to go to flopping? Go back to 2004 and watch some old Manu Ginobili tapes. Watch some old Manu Ginobili tapes. Manu Ginobili didn't make it into the Hall of Fame because he was a sixth man on a championship team. He made it to the Hall of Fame because he was the one that branded flopping in the NBA. All right. Now I had a point, right? I said, nah, Shaq is the issue for flopping. I didn't say Shaq was flopping. I said that flopping was the only way that these sad NBA coaches at that time, because you can't call yourself an NBA coach if you don't know how to defend Shaq. Like, why are you playing basketball? Like, why are you in basketball if you're not trying to actually play basketball? So that when they came with the Hacker Shaq, that was something that Shaq couldn't do anything about because he had already went to David Stern and told David Stern, yo, I'm standing under the rim for the whole 24-second shot clock because you will not call all these fouls that I'm supposed to get. So the counter move to that was, okay, well, we'll just do Hacker Shaq. Every time he gets, under 2 minutes, every time he gets the ball, we're going to foul him. And you guys are going to call it, and we're going to force him to the free throw line, right? Who started the Hacker Shaq? Popovich, right? Was it Popovich or was it Don Nelson? Was it Popovich or Don Nelson? I don't think it was Rick Adelman. It was the Lakers Shaq. It was Lakers Shaq. It wasn't Orlando Shaq that brought this issue of flopping because Shaq was like in Orlando, he had to follow the rules, so you got to defend him like a actual player. That's when he was a real beast to me. But in LA, he didn't have to follow the rules, so you had to find a way to defend him, which made the game trash, which made the game obviously slower, which made the game, low scoring and slow. It did. You look at the early 2000s, games were low scoring and everything because Shaq is setting the pace for the league. So what we have to do is realize, and let me go back again to the point of Europeans ruining our league, right? Now, you have to understand, European owners and European GMs and European people who are invested into the league, they have no problem at all with ruining the product that they got their hands on. They have no, if it equals a profit, you think they care if the product gets watered down? You get what I'm saying? So, but Mark Cuban is smart. He knows that this won't last. He knew it won't last when with Dirk. He gave Dirk 20 years. He just wanted, this shit is not working with. But Mark Cuban is smart. But Europeans, you look at the first two videos, right? A lot of people want to blame the refs, right? A lot of people blame the refs. Tim Donaghy, he should be in prison right now, but Europeans actually, the chicken came after the egg. Donahue is the egg, because you see him talking about the NBA wanting to enforce the rules on this spin move Jordan was doing, and you look at Jordan doing the spin move, there was absolutely no travel at all. You can tell that the NBA was looking for a way to slow down Michael Jordan. That's what I said in the other video about Jordan and LeBron. The way that they love Jordan now, they did not love Jordan in the league. They did not love Jordan. The way it was always a way to bring him down. Do you really believe Karl Malone should have won MVP over him in any year? Seriously. So it's like this flopping issue. They keep talking about, oh, we're gonna come with fines and we're gonna come with fines. What the F is a $5,000 fine when every year the cap goes up? You know what I'm saying? The next time, 10,000 straight cash, baby. Next time, you know what I'm saying? That's what these fines are when we're talking about a flop. You see, every time they talk about they're going to enforce these flopping rules. Maybe they mean just for the playoffs or something like that. Maybe that's what they mean, because the regular season, the offseason happens and they say that they're going to implement all these new rules, and then the regular season happens and we don't see none of that shit. Then we gotta wait till the playoffs to be like, oh, remember they said that they were going to implement this rule. So really, they complain on TV talking about, oh, the fans only care about the playoffs, but no, it's really you that only care about the playoffs, you know. And when Iverson, let's go back also to the second video where ball handling. This is something that I always paid attention to, because I can never get, like, when Iverson came through, I stopped trying to get my handle right. I just said, yo, Iverson, yeah, I'm just working my post game. So I'm gonna just work on grabbing the boards. You know what I'm saying? Because the Iverson, when he came through with the dribbling, that implemented another game within the game. You know what I'm saying? There were kids that only came to the court just to dribble. There were a lot of kids that didn't even like shooting anymore. They just like dribbling. You know what I'm saying? So that's because of Iverson. Now, when I was first taught the game of basketball, I was taught that you put your fingertips on the top of the basketball and you push down. That's how you dribble. You dribble with your fingertips on top of the ball. If you palm the ball, that's illegal. If you hold the ball from the side, that's illegal. That's why I'm like, you look at the great example of that would be, look at Isaiah Thomas. Look at how Isaiah Thomas handled the ball. His handle is legit NBA protocol handle. Iverson's handle is street handle. That's when we got handle. All right. Now, the problem with that is that Iverson's, you know, he had a street handle, but he played a professional game. And that's where you know I believe the disconnect comes from when it came to handling now. When it comes to handling now, a lot of these kids just be doing a lot of clown NBA street shit that, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, you get snuffed in the throat trying to do some shit like that in the real game by an opponent, by your coach, by your teammate. But when they started letting Iverson dribble how he dribbles, at first they were calling traveling a lot. And then they called travel, not so much traveling, they called palming the ball. They don't even I don't even see them make that call anymore. Palming the ball. Because they couldn't call traveling, you know? But you see these small things that they are doing to manipulate the game. It is not to improve the game, because if you want to improve the game, you you do, like, because you can improve the game. The game can improve. Changes. These changes that they have been making is hurting the game. So because the traveling that goes, you know how you can improve NBA? Start by calling the obvious traveling. Obvious traveling, all right? I know that y'all want to put traveling on the step back three from James Harden. Y'all want to blame James Harden. But listen, let me tell you what James Harden did. What James Harden did was say, okay, I saw that you manipulated the game for these Europeans to even exist in our game. So how can you do anything to me if I want to manipulate the game to, be a premier in this game? You know what I'm saying? They won't even exist if you didn't manipulate it. So you can't stop me from manipulating it to become an MVP. And he did that. And I fully support it because they can't. You know what I'm saying? But another thing about James Harden, why they hate James Harden game, is because he has a Black American Negro game. You know how James Harden plays? If you hate James Harden, and the way that he plays, you know who you hate? You hate Earl the Pearl Monroe. You hate Nate Archibald. You hate Walt Clyde Frazier. You hate Earl the GOAT. You hate under the rim Negro basketball. That's what you were saying you hate when you do all this hate towards James Harden. James Harden was the one that they picked and said that once we get rid of James Harden, we can get rid of Black Americans out of we can get rid of non-athletic Black Americans out of our game. Now they're going to have to all be like LeBron. That's the goal. If you think that I'm just saying this, you know what I'm saying, I guess it got to happen for you to see it. But the NBA can make serious improvements if they start making the calls. But you know what? They can't do that, or else their globalist agenda would be over with. Because I hate doing it, man. Because I like Luka's personality. You know what I'm saying? But he wouldn't exist in the NBA if they made simple calls. If they made palming the ball a call. If they made traveling a call. If they made it's another call I forgot, because they call it different outside than they call it in NBA. But there's a couple of calls that if they made it, some of these Europeans would not exist in our game. Because this is our game. We have to make that clear. Because once we give this game up, we built this. This is like listen, look at it like America. We built America. We built America. Everybody knows that. But if we give it up, look at what we're giving up. Look at what we did today. And if we go to the NBA, look at what we did. Are we really going to let Luka and Jokic run off with the league like they represent the league? You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't want Jokic to win the MVP either. Because if he would have 3 MVPs and Shaq have 3 MVPs, or he got more MVPs than Shaq, it shows you the diminishing of the NBA. In the NBA, if you want to keep a tight product, you would reward the best basketball player. Jalen Brunson should be the MVP. It should be Jalen Brunson. You can't really give it to a top player on the West team. You can't give it to Anthony Edwards. Their team is too good. The NBA would give the MVP to if they did not have a globalist agenda. And if their main agenda was not to make this game so global that, just any maggot could pick up a ball and play, right? They would be giving the MVP to either Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Or they would get, or you can go the other route of the most valuable player to your league, which is, we know, every year is LeBron. Like, maybe you need 2 different awards, because we know Jordan should have won the MVP every year he was in. But y'all want to play this game. Y'all want to pretend like y'all prestigious, but then water down the product so you can steal money from people. But listen, it's gonna run out. I don't know if y'all realize it, but whenever y'all follow these type of models, those hustles don't no hustle like that last forever. Now, if this is the time for y'all to end it, it's gonna be that time for y'all to end it. But the NBA will not succeed anymore. Like, it just can't happen with all this European inflection, with this European. Like, listen, Euroball is Euroball. Go over there and play with them if you like it so much. But our league, we can't let them diminish our league anymore and have them trying to say that the NBA is the Euro League. Like, no, stop. They brought all the negative things in this league come from the European influence. We need to make that clear. But I'm gonna go and get out of here on this one, man. I'm gonna be back with a couple of more ball joints. I'm out. Pause.